My name is Anneme Coeztee. For those of you who haven't met me before, I own a company called True Awakenings. I'm a master trainer of NLP. My claim to fame, my passion to human behavior. And what I'm passionate about is transformation. So this is really a wonderful opportunity for me to be part of this process with you ladies. And it's unlocking the human potential and understanding what your gifts and skills are and how you can utilize that. When I do corporate trainings, I usually joke and say, when I hear the word strengths and weaknesses, I get a little bit of a twitch at the word weaknesses, because your strengths are your talents. Don't try and be who you're not, be who you are, and be that authentic expression of yourself and focus on that. And everybody has their own unique skills and talents. So when you surround yourself with what is not your talent, it might be someone else's talent. And that's how we collectively move forward together and everybody succeeds. So every one of you here have your own skills, and my honor is to help you showcase that tonight to our audience. My passion is about transformation, and I want to give you just a quick explanation about the difference and how I perceive change versus transformation. If you think of water, when water solidifies, it turns into ice, and that's change. But it will always go back to water if it's in a hot environment. Right? Same for when you turn it into steam. That's what change represents. Transformation is more like putting wood on a fire. It totally, completely transforms the structure, and it cannot change back to what it was before. So let's share a journey of transformation as you go through introducing yourself to the audience tonight, and what you are passionate about in your business. And some of those personal qualities that's not always visible in the business world, and how you make a difference in the world, right? So I'd like to start off with having, so in no particular order, guys, it's just a list so we can start something, but I'd love Colette Tanner from DRG to unmute yourself, please, Colette. And, as everybody knows here, we have 2 minutes to introduce ourselves. So Colette, please, will you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi everyone, hi Anneme, thank you. I'm Colette Tanner. I work for DRG Outsourcing as the payroll manager. And so what do? We are an employer of record, and so we navigate a very complicated local compliance space for a global client. And so what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about the human and having everyone be the real human they are, without all the facade and without all the barriers. That's what my passion is.
Thank you, Colette. I want to ask you a question. Tell me in your own words, how would you define the real, authentic woman in business?
I think just being true to who you are and true to what you believe, and being real, understanding what your limitations are, being vulnerable, and then allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I think that if we are able to portray who we believe we really are, I think that we can bring about a realness in others.
That's beautiful. I love that. That's why I asked you the question. You spoke quite a bit about that in your introduction video that I watched. The authentic self was very important. And isn't it true for everybody, right? When we grow up and we learn about the world around us, we become who we think we need to become. And when you rediscover who you really are and your authentic self, isn't that the magic ingredient where results show up as well? So I'd like to ask you, Colette, where did you discover your authentic self? And what was the biggest impact that had for you in your career?
I think I discovered who I was when I became a mother. Like most of us do, the frills fall away, and we realize that life has become real very quickly. And I think that has really facilitated my change in understanding people in the professional space. and understanding women and understanding that we all wear so many different caps when we're at home. We leave work, we take off one cap, and then we're 1,000 things to 1,000 people when we leave our professional lives. And I think that's really helped me in my professional space, is understanding, you know, to be a real person, and that all of us are real people, and down to the building blocks, we all have the same needs. We all have very, very similar needs.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I have, for anyone that is a parent, I think can agree with that. I have a saying that my little one, when she arrived, broke me open unapologetically to levels I never knew I had capacity to love. And she wasn't even apologetic about it. It was just, this is what we're doing and this is who we are. So those are called life-altering events, right? So they alter your values, your perception, your beliefs, your concept of the world. So they are huge influences. And I think as women, we don't realize the impact that those personal elements have on us, and how that actually shows up in more empathy and compassion in the workplace, which creates deeper connections at the workplace as well. So thank you for sharing that, Colette. It's lovely to have you here tonight. Next up, I'd like to have a chat with Lindy. Lindy, please introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is Lindy Wepati. I am the administration manager at DRG. We are made up of 3 companies. We have DRG, DRG CIA, and BusinessFit SA. DRG focuses on payroll services and PO services for international companies. And DRG CIA is a 52% women-owned organization, which focuses on human resource management services, such as skills development reporting, employment equity reporting, and performance management, and other HR services. And lastly, we have BusinessFit SA. BusinessFit SA is also 52% women-owned. BusinessFit SA focuses on creating a business framework for small and medium organizations. Our primary objective there is helping business leaders in creating a productive, engagement, and sustainable businesses.
Thank you so much for that, Lindy. Please tell me, who has been your biggest mentor in your career, and what has been name one thing that has really made a big difference from what you learned from your mentor, and how are you implementing that in your day-to-day life at work?
Along the journey, I met Mr. David White, who was my mentor during my study, and he is still my mentor today. He has exposed me in so many things in businesses. As I've said, I am involved in 3 companies, DRG, DRG CIA, and BusinessFit SA. For me, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn. So every day I'm learning something new. Yeah, every day I'm learning something new.
And what is the one thing that stands out from what you learned from your mentor?
One thing that stands out, because being introduced into the corporate environment was new to me. I was scared. I wasn't sure of what was expected from me, and my mentor was able to assist me to build, you know, that confidence in me that I can do it. He always tries and push me to do better. And I think nowadays, we are fortunate enough, I must say, we are fortunate enough that we live in a country where we are not profit-driven. We have the spirit of humanity to others, the spirit of Ubuntu. So whatever knowledge that we have, we just want to share that knowledge. And I was fortunate enough that I met Mr. David White, who is always willing to share every knowledge he has around the business.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Lindy. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Can I ask Monica, will you please enlighten us, introduce yourself to us, and what do you do?
Thank you, Anneme. I'm Monica Jorgensen, and I'm a business owner. I own the Mozambican Morningside in Durban, and I've owned the restaurant for a year now, and it's been an amazing experience thus far. It has had its ups and downs, but it's my passion. Hospitality is my passion, and I have a great team. I have a great people that work in our head office that are always there to support me. My franchisor, it's an absolutely amazing company, Mozambique, and it's a growing company. We have just opened our 40th restaurant in Mangwanani just last week. So it's been a great and incredible journey thus far. I've had my scary moments, I won't lie. Especially now, like, during this period where we have the most of the Indian community that have been fasting for a whole month. I've actually said to some of my customers, please become Christians. I'm tired of I'm tired of losing so much money while you guys are fasting. So it's been a great year thus far, like I said, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. So I'm happy to be a restaurant owner, and it's been an incredible journey, and I have a great team. I think they make every shift very exciting, everybody with their own awesome personalities, so they have my back. They often tell me, please go home, we've got it, we can handle this. And I know I'm there from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it's hard for me to stay away from my business. I don't know if this happens within the first year that you can't keep yourself away from the business, but I can't stay home anymore. I just want to be there. I want to open that door and I want to lock that door every night. And yeah, so, I'm happy. I'm in my happy space right now. So yeah.
That's amazing. Well done. Well done. I think I like to say to people, when you're an entrepreneur and you're self-employed and you have your business, you think you're on holiday lying on the beach, but your head is still in your office. Even if you're lying on the beach, it's like it doesn't stop. It's always there. Can you explain to us, perhaps give us an example of a pivotal moment in your career that changed the trajectory of your outcomes and your success? What is a pivotal moment for you?
Well, achieving top growth in the year 2022, when I just had opened the restaurant in August 2022. And for me, that was a great moment. I still can't believe it. I've really turned the business around in the short space of time. And so I think that was a high for me. And I'm actually very proud of the work that I've done, because it was not easy. And I'm very grateful to all the people around me that assisted me to get there. So I don't think we should forget those people that got us there. So that was a pivotal moment for me.
There's a saying that comes to mind: teamwork makes dream work, right? It just makes it easy for you when you're holding hands. You also mentioned in one of the videos that I watched that we recorded previously, is that you mentioned that you had a bit of a challenging background. And I wanted to know, how did you overcome that old belief system that allowed you, with overcoming that, to create the success that you have so far?
That's a very tough one, because coming from a previously disadvantaged background, everything was difficult, I'm still in the struggle, believe it or not. You know what, I think my confidence, I always believe in myself, that, always believed, when I was a little girl and having tough times, that I could do it. That, you know, I needed to follow my heart and follow my dreams. And that's exactly what I did. And, you know, I think the biggest thing is like my family supported me a hell of a lot, you know. When I was still a receptionist in a hotel, and I said to them one day, you know what, I'm going to England. And I applied for my visa and I bought my ticket, and they still couldn't believe it. And I said, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. And they supported me a hell of a lot. So they've been there for me. They've encouraged me, encouraged my dreams, and they're still there for me, you know. So I think it's the support of my family that's got me to where I am today.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And it's also so important for anyone that's looking at becoming an entrepreneur or starting your own business, is really what you said, is like having that dream and chasing it like it's not negotiable, and building your own confidence and backing yourself. And then magic happens, right? This is what got you here today. So well done for that. Well done. Thank you for sharing your story. I'd like to ask Mags to introduce herself to our audience.
Hi, my name is Mags van der Walt, and I'm the founder of the Busy Bookkeeper and Partners. The Busy Bookkeeper and Partners, we provide accounting, secretarial, payroll, and other solutions to small businesses. Sorry, I'm so nervous right now. So please bear with me. The nature of the company, as I said already, is to provide small businesses with accounting, tax, payroll, and secretarial solutions. Additionally, we offer financial advisory and assistance. Over the past 8 years, the company has grown to form partnerships with some well-established platforms that are carefully selected to fit my clients' needs and lighten my workload. The biggest motive behind me starting my virtual firm was my children. I was in a company that was sucking the soul out of me, and I needed to buy back my life. So I started a company of my own, thinking that it was going to be easier. You know, you're going to have more time. It never works out like that, does it? So over the past 8 years, we've grown from strength to strength. This year in April, I decided to hire some people to help me out because the workload grew to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. I suffered a near nervous breakdown. My hair fell out of my head. It looked like we had a husky. We don't even have a dog, you know. But I decided, you know, I just couldn't do it on my own anymore. And I asked my partners at Risen Financialist to come on board in a more active role. I hired an assistant. And from there, this year we placed 3rd in the Best of Durban in the financial services category, simply by making a few little changes and bringing on a team. We hire young moms. I was a teen mom. I was a high school dropout. And now I'm the owner of a really recognized firm. I get to hire young moms just like me, and give them a safe work environment to work in that is free from sexual harassment, where they can work flexible hours. And I upskill them too. I've just been so appreciative this year of the opportunities that I've been given. My firm has it's just grown and flourished. You know, I've had such an impact on the young girls that I've been upskilling as well. I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful. We serve a lot of female small businesses as well, which is kind of my niche that I'm hoping to go more towards, because I want to be a female firm that supports female entrepreneurs, that hires females, you know, in South Africa, because I believe that we understand each other more. You know, we get each other's struggles. I have female small businesses that we chat kids, you know, we chat school and everything, but it's been an absolutely phenomenal journey. I've just been absolutely so grateful and blessed.
That's wonderful, Mags. I want to ask you, who has been your greatest support that was most surprising to you in your upliftment process and your personal development?
You know, I'm going to say generally your immediate family your family can be your worst supporters. You know, they're not generally very supportive at all. They generally are the voice of doom. So during my process, it's been my immediate family, first and foremost, but also I've received an amazing amount of support from people on the internet, on social media. It's been absolutely fantastic having that kind of support from people that you haven't even met, you know, and they're busy, they're raving about you. They're like, you can do it and everything, you know, like it gives you hope. It gives you hope that there are really some good people out there that just want to see you succeed in life.
Now, you mentioned something in your interview prior, the difference between commitment and being interested. So
Yes.
how do you show up? Explain what that means to you, and how do you show up in your commitment in your business?
Well, the difference between, for me personally, being committed and being interested. If you're interested, what's going to happen is you're just going to make up excuses all the time. If you're committed, you're going to find a way to make it work, regardless of the challenge, regardless of the obstacle that you face, regardless of whether or not you have COVID or whatever the case may be. You know, you're going to get up and you're going to show up and you're going to do it without excuses, you know, because ultimately you're going to have stumbling blocks. You're going to fail. You're going to find a plan that doesn't work, whatever the case may be. But, you know, I think that being committed to your goal and being committed to your dreams, you absolutely find creative ways to make anything work. And you're going to show up regardless of how you're feeling. You're going to be disciplined because motivation kind of runs out after a while, doesn't it? But discipline keeps you going.
That's wonderful. Awesome. That's fantastic advice for anybody that walks headfirst into a hurdle, right? Because those things will happen. It's not always smooth sailing, but it's that determination, that commitment. Motivation is usually when we get some external triggers. You know, if you can imagine having a gym buddy, that the days that you don't feel motivated, your gym buddy is going to come and drag you out of bed and take you to gym. But when it's connected to you, it's inspiration and you're inspired, and then it's a much easier transition to take the action. So it's that commitment to your own values that really
Absolutely.
makes the process a lot easier. So thank you so much for sharing that. I really enjoy that story.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's my pleasure. Next up, can I ask Kim from Studio 39 to share your story and introduce yourself to us, please, Kim?
Thank you, Anneme. Good evening, ladies, and all you viewers out there who've joined in to watch us. Before I even start, I have to tell you, I am extremely nervous, and overwhelmed. So, excuse me if I stumble over a few words. I'm honored, though, really, really, really honored to be here amongst all you extraordinary women. Obviously, Kim Dyerson, and owner of Studio 39 Jewelry Design and the founder of Jewelers by Design. So in telling you what it is that I do, I'd like to ask, have you ever wished that you could capture an emotion or a memory and save it for a lifetime? As a family jeweler and goldsmith, I can help with this. And the way I do it is by creating wearable works of art. So imagine relating your story of a particular event in your life, one that's extremely important to you, and then passing the piece of jewelry that captures that story onto those children and grandchildren. I don't just make jewelry. I like to try and make future heirlooms. In a nutshell, my team and I make what you love. I've been doing this for 29 years in my own business, and I can't imagine doing anything else. One thing I can say with owning your own business, and especially as long as I have, you can't get too complacent. So when lockdown forced the business to close for 2 months, it gave me time to reflect and strategize. I was concerned with how I would support my family, and was so concerned about my staff and surrounding communities and how they would be coping with the same problems. It just brought to the fore just how important it is to have a second income or another stream of income or community support. So with all of this in mind, I came up with the concept for Jewelers by Design. The name for Jewelers by Design comes with a play on words. It's live by your own design and not by default. The concept is from a feeling of community and working together so that everybody can succeed. There's plenty of room at the table for authentic and passionate people who would like to own their own business or have that second stream of income. The aim of Jewelers by Design is to provide members from all backgrounds with the platform and guidance to develop their own brand and learn in a nurturing environment while owning or growing their own business. I believe employing locals and mentoring them when they start up their own business is a way of giving back to our communities. I do believe small business, in particular us ladies, are the backbone of economy. So we should stand together. We should work collaboratively, combining our skills and experience. And I think that will uplift the communities around us. And in so doing, will create jobs and improve lives. So I'd like to thank KZN Top Business for the opportunity to introduce this and myself to you all.
Thank you so much for that, Kim. Tell me, how do you continue to educate and reinvent yourself in the changes that happen in your industry?
Well, I think education is ongoing. There's been obviously lots of challenges in our industry in particular. So you've got to move with the times and how people are changing their view on jewelry. I obviously keep up with the latest trends in gemstones, what's trending, etc. But I think the biggest thing has been that the view towards jewelry has become one of, it's a luxury. And in today's times, a lot of the people out there are wanting more of an experience. But again, I just say to you, well, how do you capture that? How are you going to remember that memory? It's basically what I've said in my opening statement, that I provide that platform. So yeah, just keep educating yourself on the way trends are changing and pivot with that.
I love how you put that into words to say you're going to capture that memory in a future heirloom. It's a different perspective around jewelry that I think is really going to get the audience and your consumers and clients to think about jewelry in a different way. It's not just a costume ring that I'm slapping on. It's actually meaningful on a much deeper level. So I love that.
I understand that whole sentimental side of things. It's so important. Jewelry isn't just a piece that, as you say, slap on. It really isn't. It's so sentimental and it does get passed on. So you need to have something that means something to you. Jewelry must be meaningful.
It's lovely. Thank you, Kim. I look forward to seeing some of that jewelry. I'm sure we'll bump into each other. I'll come and visit you. Thank you for sharing and introducing yourself. Next up, I'd like to ask Zanele from the Unlearners. Enlighten us, please, Zanele.
Hi, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Zanele Njapa, and my clients call me the Unlearning Lady. So you might see two little dots behind me there. Those are butterflies. And I've actually got another one on my wrist here that I was so nervous to get earlier this year because I was brought up to think that certain things are bad. But the big idea behind the butterfly and the work that I do as the Unlearning Lady, which is what my clients call me, is that I really support organizations and individuals who are ready to really play two roles. They're ready to play the role of the death doula, allowing something to die. Oftentimes we think about having the individual who helps, like a birth, what do they call it nowadays? Like someone who supports the birth process, who's there to help, like when the baby comes into the world, to really usher the baby into something completely new. But very rarely do we think about the person who's there to hold your hand in the hospice when it's time to actually let go. And so what I do and what my company does is that we really help our clients through that process. Because oftentimes when we think about change and transformation, we're just going, run. Let's do the next thing. Let's jump onto the next system. But we really bring in that approach of unlearning and relearning. Let's let go of what no longer serves us and then jump into something new, which is similar around that idea around the butterfly, and how when I got that, I was so nervous because I had been taught by society, by my parents, by religion, that it was wrong and it wasn't who I was. So it's that process. And I think just actually having it on my wrist shows you that for me, this process of unlearning and relearning is not just what I do. It's who I am. I strongly believe that it's so important. And our company motto is actually that it's okay to make mistakes, building a world where people know that it's all right to change your mind. If you believe something yesterday and today it's changed, it's fine. We shouldn't hold you to that because you're a new person. And that really is the approach we bring to our clients. So we serve corporate clients, but then we also serve our individuals, who we call unlearners. We serve our corporate clients through offerings like consultancy, keynotes, workshops, facilitating certain conversations around change and transformation with that two-step approach. But we also support our individuals through courses. If someone's going through something and they're really struggling, we bring in our neuro coaching tools into that as well. And then also retreats that we offer for people who are going, okay, I'm wrapping up my year and I want to be able to unlearn and relearn for this coming year. So yes, that's me.
That's awesome. I love it. And, you know, just your example about the butterfly, isn't that just such a beautiful example of a comfort zone, right? All those things that we learned forms part of this comfort zone, and you think that you're comfortable, but it's actually just familiar. And even putting it on your arm, you know, and having that reminder is like, I've actually reset that comfort zone. I've actually stepped outside of that construct that was perceivingly limited, and being able to express what it is that it means to you as an individual. So that's awesome. I want to ask you a question. You mentioned in one of your interviews on the video, you used the word crippling beliefs. So I want to know, what is one of your most crippling beliefs that you have transformed, and how has that impacted your success in your business?
Thank you very much for that question. I absolutely love it. Definitely the one that stands right at the top is the belief that I can do all things. I can do everything. And now, yes, that's a beautiful belief. It can be super empowering, but when you run a business, it's probably not the best thing to believe about yourself. I actually gave a talk today about work-life balance, and the idea that work-life balance is actually quite a big lie. It's more about being a holistic human being. And so for me, when we talk about crippling beliefs, and that one for me, it's having the understanding that I stand in the ownership of my uniqueness, and then allow the individuals around me who have their own strengths to then support me, and then we can make a bigger impact. So that crippling belief for me has played a huge role with stunting the growth of my business at a certain stage, because I wouldn't hire, and I would go, no, we'll hire when the business is much bigger. Let's save it for now, and not allow us to grow by bringing people in who are experts at certain skills and in their spaces. So I'm definitely unlearning that one. It's a work in progress because I'm a confessing perfectionist. So still working on it, but we're getting there.
I think you got some skills in your toolbox to work with, Anneme, and we wish you well on that unlearning process. So I'd like to give Nonkululeko an opportunity. Nonku, I'm assuming, is how you shorten that. If I look at how you've labeled your name. Nonku, please introduce yourself to us and share with us your journey.
Thank you so much. Evening, ladies. My name is Nonkululeko Mkhize, but you can call me Nonku. I'm a social worker by profession. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm the founder and CEO of NHM Wellnet. My business prioritizes the holistic well-being of employees in order to improve productivity and reduce absenteeism. We offer tailor-made services to address the unique health services that is mental, emotional, financial, and spiritual challenges that are faced by employees on a daily basis by providing culturally sensitive and inclusive programs and resources. Our goal is to empower employees to lead healthier, happier, and holistic lives, contributing to their wellness, because we believe that emotionally stable employees are productive employees.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. So how do you prioritize tasks and responsibilities when everything seems like a priority that's urgent?
Oh, yes. So everyone has a to-do list. I mean, everyone wants to get things done, but I think how I actually prioritize is firstly by looking at what is important and what is urgent at that particular moment, and also asking for help. I think just like Zanella, I'm someone that is actually learning that I don't have to do everything myself. If I can just look at it, how I started my business, I was basically the marketing person, the finance lady, the CEO, and the therapist all at once. So I'm slowly unlearning the fact that, yes, I'm a therapist, but I'm also a CEO now. I've changed, or I've transformed my business from just a practice to now a business where I have to take on the role of a CEO or a managing director of the business. So yeah, that is basically how I prioritize my tasks.
I think everybody that's gone through the process of owning a business has come to the hurdle of how do I switch from just being a self-employed to a business owner? And that mental mind shift is the biggest adjustment that we find. And I love what you said in terms of what's the difference between important and what's the difference between urgent. So we have to prioritize those important things as well. Otherwise they all become urgent, right? So it's wearing the CEO hat as well as the one that delivers the product, whether it is the counselor, the actual product that the business does, whether that's you or someone else, but it's to make space for both of them to be important consistently. And hopefully we can get to an 80-20% of 80% important stuff done and 20% urgent stuff managed. So thank you for sharing that with us and how you apply it. I'd love to ask, next up, Carol Forey, can we have you introduce yourself for those who don't yet know who you are, which is probably unlikely.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm Carol Forey. This is an amazing platform. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this entire experience. It's absolutely empowering and enlightening just hearing the other ladies. Yes, I'm Carol Forey. I'm a radio presenter on East Coast Radio between 9 and 12. Also got the Carol Forey podcast, which is an exciting venture that allows me to do a lot more of my investigative side, my answering question side, my journalistic side, and allows me to talk a lot more than, play music. So I'm very, very excited about the podcast. It's in its second season. The first season was nominated for a DSTV Content Award, which was absolutely phenomenal. I'm also an author, a children's book author. I wrote a book series called The African Adventures of Sena and Katlego, which hit all shelves, bookshelves across the country. And it's 6 books. We visit 6 countries, South Africa, Uganda, Chad, Eswatini, Egypt, as well as Ghana, which, the book project, I still kind of marvel that I pulled that off. It's insane. And then I'm also the co-founder of Ratings for Schools, which is a school finding portal. It's ratingsforschools.co.za, an amazing school finding portal where parents can find schools using filters. Just like we find homes, we go according to budget, specifications, all of that. We've created a space where you can do that with schools and compare them from one school to the other and be able to find the right placement for your kids, which has been really an exciting project and it is growing exponentially every day. Also an MC, facilitator, voiceover artist, have done some really amazing work with my voice work, having been a character for Disney, shows on Disney Plus, and also being the station voice for numerous stations in the country. I just kind of find the different colors of my brand, Carol Forey, and the different skills. And I've been able to utilize every side of my skills and my talents to create some sort of brand that I've created. And that is, of course, Carol Forey brand. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was fascinated by the books when I discovered that. And I loved the boldness when you said, I want to do 10. Okay, I'll settle for 6.
Right.
With you being in the spotlight, obviously, in radio and so forth, how do you handle criticism and how do you leverage that for your growth?
Yeah, criticism is something that just kind of comes with the territory with the work that we do. We always get unsolicited feedback, criticism, the works. And sometimes it's crazy. You'll have a day where you have 50 people saying you're doing awesome things and one person says, you suck. And for some reason, you kind of zoom in on that one person because for some reason, the other 49 whittle away and this one is the one you zoom in on. And what I've learned through this career spanning almost 20 years now, I've been in this business. And every year I've just learned how to cope better and better with criticism and also to be able to sift what is constructive and what is destructive. Earlier in my career, obviously, I wouldn't be able to decipher, but I'm at a point now where I'm so strongly aware of my offerings, my strengths, my weaknesses. So whenever I get those negative, comments or feedback, I now only really zoom in and internalize to grow the ones that actually help me. But I'm able to now literally let the ones that are really just destructive roll off my back like water off a duck's back.
Yeah, those were the words in my mind. I was going to use that, but you jumped to it first. So that's it, right? You're not going to be able to please everybody. There's so many different ways to communicate. You're not going to say the right words every single time. So we've got to learn to just stay grounded in ourselves and be confident in what you've delivered. And, the naysayers out there is always just feedback, and put it in context so it doesn't affect, right? So, but in a fast-paced change and innovation in your industry, how do you stay relevant? How do you innovate yourself in your industry all the time?
I think that's the one thing that my industry has really forced me to always be looking at is ways of innovating and ways of growing and ways of moving with the times. 5 years ago, would I have written a book series? I don't think so. I don't think I would have thought I was able to. But because our business is one that's consistently, there's new talent coming every year, new things happening. Complacency is a definite killer of one's career in my space. So the more I can reinvent myself and the more I can do things that not only brighten my spark and get me energized about something new. It also just allows me a new flow of income and an interesting way of diversifying my brand. So, it speaks to, the podcast coming along. I'm known for conventional radio, but the way the world is moving, podcasting is the way to go. And the podcast is out. We're in our second season. I also understand the importance of literature, and there's been a real space for Black authors to grow. So an opportunity to write books because, being realistic, it was not a space Black authors got opportunities to publish. And so a time came where, I could walk into a publisher and the probability of me getting published was high. And this has happened. So as the times change, as people become more open to opportunities and to growing and to, pivoting, I'm consistently being forced to look to see what can I do next. And I think the newest baby on the card would be Ratings for Schools, which is an incredibly amazing platform that has changed so many lives, and not just ours, but just so many lives of people who have found it extremely frustrating to locate schools. And this platform has allowed many people to find that, for example, there are schools literally 3 streets behind you that you didn't even know had offerings that work for you. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Carol. Yeah, it's awesome to see your passion for children. I share your passion because I think if we knew then what we know now, having gone through trials and tribulations, I think life would have been a little bit smoother. So thank you for breaking that mold and paving the way for other Black authors to also have the courage to step up into that space. So thank you for introducing that. I look forward to having a look at those books because I love metaphors with children. They're so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much, Carol. I'd like to introduce, next up is Dr. Cara Hoffman. Could you please introduce yourself to us and to the audience and what it is that you are passionate about?
Hi, I'm Cara Hoffman. I'm an audiologist in Durban. I have a practice in both Ballito and Durban. Helen Keller said that blindness separates people from things and deafness separates people from people. So I'm in the business of connecting people with people again. And what hearing loss does is it causes us to remove ourselves socially. It causes us anxiety, unnecessary stress, and a lot of space filled into our brains that take over our cognitive load and make it very, very difficult to communicate and to continue being employable, to continue running your business, to continue having friendships. And so I am a very, very passionate, independent audiologist who wants to increase awareness and knowledge of the effects of hearing loss, even mild hearing loss, and the devastating consequences that hearing loss can have for a person as well as their family and friends. as well as passionate about all things hearing and ear related. So we are a completely diagnostic practice that focuses on all areas of the public, from pediatric newborns to geriatric. We work with the dizzy impaired or the people that have imbalance issues. We work with people that have no benefit from hearing aids, and we help assist in the process of obtaining cochlear implants. We allow children who would otherwise have only had the opportunity to communicate via sign language to now communicate verbally, should they so desire. But we also empower parents to be knowledgeable about what their options are. And that's why I'll take Carol up on all of those offerings, because one of the biggest challenges in South Africa, and particularly in Durban, is finding an appropriate school for a child who has a hearing loss. So I would love to work with you on that project. And also being, and I'm just following on from Carol and taking opportunity here big time, is to say that I would love to take you as a personality and induce a temporary mild hearing loss and give that to you for a day and try and complete your podcast and your job and see how challenging it is just to have a mild hearing loss, on how difficult it is to follow a conversation and to maintain your concentration. So those children that go so long undetected with even just the mildest hearing losses and get labeled as ADD, as naughty, as defiant, as all sorts of other diagnoses, those people are the ones that I want to help. The people that think that hearing aids are just for the elderly and they're big beige bananas and they whistle from down the road, those people are the people that already have existing hearing loss for a very, very long time, and it's very difficult to rehabilitate them. But the people that are starting to develop hearing loss and they don't know, those are the people that I would like to influence on a global scale. And part of what I do and part of what my passion is about empowering other audiologists around the country to do exactly what I'm doing. So to be independent, to not be dependent on specific brands, to not be bought out by their ethics, to continue being true to their profession, and to upskilling independent audiologists around the country through a vision that I called I AM, which stands for the Independent Audiologist Matrix. And I want to see that all independent audiologists around South Africa are successful in being able to tap into more than the small 10% of the population that we are currently tapping into who are presenting with hearing loss. So that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome, Cara. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a big job in terms of taking on the industry and making a contribution back into audiology like that with the IM matrix. That's stunning. Tell me, what qualities do you believe every successful businesswoman should possess?
I think the biggest,
some of those ethics that you mentioned.
I think the biggest thing is just remaining true to yourself and remaining true to your cause. It's so easy to get tempted and to get skewed. Your path gets skewed and you get tempted by other options and opportunities that might not resonate so well with your deep down ethics. And so I think the biggest thing is remaining honest and keeping your professional and ethical hat on for as long as you possibly can.
So what has been quite a, tell us a little bit about you on a personal level. What has been the biggest shift in your career, but from a personal perspective?
I would say becoming a mother as well. I think that's what everyone also experiences. I'm a mother of three little ones, aged 6, 4, and 2. They keep us very busy, both physically and emotionally. And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges as well, is being passionate about your business, your baby, and having physical babies as well to be passionate about. And I think that having children has changed the way that I work with parents. In the past, it would be much easier for me to just tell a parent that their child is hearing impaired and just carry on with what their treatment options are. And nowadays, after being a mom, I've sat and cried with parents and really felt the emotion. And that, I think, has been a turning point for other people to be able to resonate with the doctor that they see, you know. So very often the first impression that we get as professionals is that this person is not being completely open with everything that they're going through in their life, and they hold themselves at a distance. But as soon as one can open themselves up to their patient, their client, their colleague, and you become real and relevant to that person, and they become real and relevant to you, I think that's what makes all the difference.
That's where we get to create real deeper connections of trust and to guide them onto a solution that might have been not even something they wanted to consider before. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, and continue to be so passionate. I love the energy that comes from that. So
No
next
problem,
up, I'd like
thanks.
to introduce Charlene.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, first I'd like to apologize for the darkness surrounding me, as I'm sure we all used to load shedding by now. Yes, so my name is Charlene Perumal. I'm a CEO by trade and a philanthropist by heart. I have several businesses, but my passion is my charity organization. So my businesses basically fund my charity organization, which enables me to make a difference in society. So I believe that I can change the world with one act of kindness at a time. I know that's a big ask, but I try anyway. So a few of my businesses are firstly the Gold Bar, which is a gold recycling company. I have 5 stores around the country. Basically, we offer customers cash in exchange for their jewelry that they don't want. We mail them back into the bullion bars and recycle them back into the economy. So I have 2 hair salons, Sensational Hair, Nails and Beauty, in Umhlanga Rocks and Canubia Mall. Designer Prints, which is a printing company. Belito Seafoods in Odyssey Mall in Belito. And a few others that I won't go into now. So basically, I believe that we can be anything we want. I've started from very humble beginnings. With no money to study after school, I started working as a cashier in a supermarket, and basically had to pay my way through university only when I turned 26. And I believe no matter what your circumstances are, if you have a dream and if you're passionate and if you're committed, you can literally achieve anything you set your mind to. And my businesses and my perseverance along the years is allowing me to make a difference in society, which is my purpose in life. And I'm so pleased that I get to fulfill that purpose on a daily basis.
That's awesome. I want to ask you, when do you sleep with all those businesses? Do you have time to
Yes.
rest?
Not much time to rest, actually.
So tell me, give us a specific example of where you took a risk on something that gave you surprising rewards that you didn't think the rewards were going to be that big. What was the risk that you took that paid off big time?
Well, gosh, I think every single business I started was a huge risk and extremely scary, and nothing came easy. I have challenges on a daily basis, and I have 40 staff that I need to tend to, that basically the responsibility lies on my shoulders. And I think, the Gold Bar basically, so I've got 5 stores, and I think that's basically my biggest risk, as it is I'd say 80% of my companies. And most of my staff basically come from this business. So, and this basically is me being in a male-dominated industry. So nobody took me seriously. I had to get leases in malls who basically look at me as a little girl trying to fit in, and basically probably wondering, and it's basically mall managements are mostly men, so basically wondering, how am I going to fit the monthly rental? But I managed to prove myself, and I worked extremely hard to show that, you know what, I work with integrity, I have morals, and I'm here to stay, and I'm here to make a path for myself, basically. And well, a few years down the line, I'm glad I've achieved that. So nobody actually questions my ability to get any task done.
Well done. Well done. Male-dominated area rebranded. So how do you handle those setbacks? You know, some people call, you know, I call it, normal people use the word failures. I don't call it failures. I call it feedback. You know, if you want to succeed, you've got to go fail fast because all your lessons are there, right? So how do you handle some of those setbacks, and what have you learned from your setbacks?
Well, I use it as stepping stones. It just fuels me to prove myself even more. And I've sat in conversations where sometimes I thought I would start crying, but I had to be resilient and I had to prove, hey, I have something to say, I have something to offer, and I deserve to be here just as much as the next person. And in the beginning, it was extremely hard, but now I think I've managed to build enough confidence in myself and in my own abilities to stand firm, stand my ground, and yeah, accept any challenge that comes through to me.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, and I hope you get some rest tonight and that the businesses don't have you tossing and turning all night. And I look forward to touching base with you again through this journey.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Who I'd like to ask next up to introduce herself and her business is Cherise.
Hi, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. So my name is Cerise, and I am the proud owner of Cerise Hair Design in Hillcrest. I'm also the brand ambassador for a German company called the Cow Salon Division, which owns the brand called Goldwell and KMS, which provide us with the liquid tools that we use to create magical hair on a daily basis. So just a little bit about myself. I studied at Sorenzo International Hairdressing in Johannesburg, and I've been in the industry for almost 15 years. One of my biggest challenges in the industry, I would say, was when I decided to go on my own and to open my own hair salon. It is not easy. And 3 months after I opened my own salon, they announced a lockdown. And that was one of the biggest challenges, I would say. And after lockdown, I got involved in the educational team in Goldwell. And I think that is when Goldwell recognized me, where I created little hair videos and just to educate customers and consumers on hair care products and how to look after your hair. If some of my customers are watching, I think you'll giggle if I say this. I'm extremely, extremely passionate about the science and the biology when it comes to hair and hair care products and the structure of hair and how to look after your hair and take care of it. The Upper Highway also calls me the blonde doctor, which is a funny story. When I still worked in a salon before I owned my own salon, a customer phoned in and she said, can she please speak to the blonde doctor? And I still said to her, I'm so sorry, this is the hair salon in Hillcrest, but the medical center is opposite the road. I'm sure there's a blonde doctor over there, you know. And she said, no, there's a lady that's apparently she is a doctor when it comes to blonde hair. And that's a huge honor just to know that being recognized like that, I really truly care for the integrity of the hair. But not only about that, I'm also very passionate about people. And in my industry, you know, a lot of people will be like, oh, she's just a hairdresser, or oh, they just do hair. But, you know, I think we actually touch a lot of more hearts than we touch hair, because we connect with people on a daily basis. We get to listen to their stories. We get to share our stories. And that's why it's such a huge honor to be here and to share a little bit of my story. It was a very bumpy one. It didn't start easy. So, like I said, we went through lockdown, we survived flooding and looting and all of that. And when I started my salon, I just had a small 28 square meter and it was just myself and an assistant. And then 3 months later, another incredible, highly qualified colorist and stylist joined my team. And my team grew from the 2 of us, and today we are 3 highly qualified colorists and stylists and cutting technicians. And I've got 2 amazing assistants. They are always bubbly and happy and smiling. I just love the energy, the way they meet and greet my customers. I just always wanted to bring a different experience to KZN when it comes to the hair industry. Like I said, I've worked at Terenza International Hairdressing, and the industry over there is just completely different. The way that we meet and greet our customers, we interact with them, complimentary beverages, and we just really educate our customers on their hair and the beautiful hair care products that we supply. I also believe that the hairdressing industry is one of the fastest growing industries in the world, and therefore we need to constantly reinvent ourselves to keep up with the latest trends and leading trends and techniques in the industry. Lifting people in my industry, I would say, is also a big passion for me. As I always say, that emotions are attached to our hair. So personally, if I go through something, a breakup or whatever, if I'm depressed, I want to do my hair. If I'm happy, I do my hair. If I'm sad, I do my hair. So I'm sure we can all relate. And I must say, it's really fulfilling when you have a customer in your chair who didn't have a great day, or they're going through something, and you've made them feel better just by imparting joy and doing their hair and just being there for them. I'm also excited to say that we are a part of the Espavo creative team, and we will be going up in November to style the hair for the Mrs. South Africa finalists at Empress Palace. We've just done a photo shoot at the Wild Coast for them a couple of weekends ago, and we've already met all the ladies, and they are fabulous. And myself and my team will be going up to Johannesburg, and I can't wait to take part in that. And yeah, just to share everything with you guys when we come back.
That's awesome. We look forward to getting that feedback from you. Well done on that. So I'd like to know from you, when we go through these difficult challenges, like 3 months after opening your salon and you go into lockdown, how deep did you have to dig into your own reservoir of values to manage those challenging times? And as you mentioned, then we had the looting and the floods. I think we just, when you apply for a job, you just have to tell everybody you live in Durban or KZN, and that should show them the grit that we have here. So what did you dig into in your own core values to navigate those challenging times?
Okay, well, first of all, I dug very deep into my savings. That's one of the things. Yeah, look, the advice I can just give to anyone out there, and especially going through these challenges, is, like I said, if it weren't for my savings and putting everything back into my business, I would honestly not have been able to financially survive any of this. I mean, these incidents, we aren't prepared for it. It happens. So you always need to have the financial backup, number one, and always put back into your business. And because of that, I could still provide for my staff, and I still paid their full salaries during that time. And then on a personal level, I would just say to never give up. I think a lot of where I had to really dig into myself was to give back to my customers during that time, especially that period. And, just to keep the interaction with your customers, keep checking in on them. I started making the educational training videos that I started to share with my followers on Facebook and Instagram. That opened doors. That's where I got some recognition. We also won in 2021 when I moved to my own premises. That was also one of my biggest challenges, because during that period of time, I got the sad news of the unexpected passing of my dad. And I've also lost, and not long before that, my stepdad, and just before that, my grandfather. So I had to really learn how to do all of this without a male role model or a male figure. I had to learn how to deal with contractors on my own, and construction work, and architects and engineers, and even septic tanks. Like, I had to learn all of that. And I just think when all of these things happen, you just make it happen. So to all the ladies out there and all the women out there, you can do it. Just always never forget where you come from and just push through.
Thank you so much, Therese. That's wonderful advice. I'm sure there's plenty of people that can resonate with that. We all went through those challenging times together. We had to reinvent ourselves and our businesses to, dig into either savings or deep pockets to just see it through and to survive those challenging times. Thank you for sharing. Last but not least, can I please ask Mandy from Maraschino Collective to introduce herself to us and to the audience and share with us your journey, Mandy.
Thank you so much, Anneme. And I'm totally inspired by this incredible group of women. I've sat here with a lump in my throat, and so much of what's already been said resonates with me. I'm Mandy Rootman. I'm the owner of Maraschino Marketing Collective. And 29 years ago, I had a dream. Never did I think that I would own a business that would still be standing today. I was a young mom who wanted her own identity and thought of a plan and just went with it, not knowing where it would go. And today I own an all-in-one marketing agency. We're Ballito based, very blessed to have an incredible client base here in Ballito and the support of many Ballito businesses, but we've grown to have a national base as well as an international base, which never in my wildest dreams did I think was possible. So COVID hits us hard. We moved to KZN 7 years ago from Joburg. I had this incredibly strong network in Joburg, you know, my comfy blankets, and we moved to Ballito, the world of Ballito, its own country, and very, very blessed that there were so many ex-Joburg people that I'd connected with over the years who were here. And pretty soon, I built a little base of marketing clients just by speaking about my passion, not ever my business. It was about, I love people and I love finding ways for people in their personal life as well as in their business lives to sort of expand and let others know about their gifts or what drives them. So very, very fortunate in that regard. Today I sit here with the most incredible team of 8 women, all women. People ask me pretty often, is there a no man sort of ban? And it's never been that. I just think where I come from in a marketing space is very much an emotional space. I connect with people. If I love what you're doing and can resonate with your business, for me, it's authentic and real and natural to try and help market you. I have learned over the years and to suck it up that I might not be the perfect fit for everybody. And in those instances where it has happened in my career, I've been pretty confident in handing those people over to other marketers. So I'm not one of those people who doesn't liaise with other marketers or industry professionals. If I think somebody can do a better job, I'm going to be the first one to put up my hand and say, you know what, I think you need to speak to this person. So the team that we've got now loves what they do as much as I do every single day. And people talk about a balance in life. My work is my life because it's about people. So people ask me what my hobbies are, all of that. Well, you know what? My hobby and my life is my work because it's people I love, it's industries I love, it's events that I love. So it all comes into one sort of happy scenario. You know what, our list of services, as I said, it's an all-in-one marketing business. We've learned over the years, and going back 29 years ago, you had separate businesses who did PR opposed to marketing, above line, below line, whatever. That's all changed, and we focus on all avenues that include brand development, social media, web design and development, copywriting, social media, and anything that you can think of in the marketing sphere. Other than that, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I'm a glammy to 4 precious grandchildren. And what I'm doing now is building something that has longevity, not only for my daughter who works with me, but for the team, the young team who is here with us every single day at Maraschino, and for my grandchildren. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Glammy, and lovely to meet you. Tell me, in your industry, golly gosh, it's a moving target, isn't it? With online media, social media, everything going online the way, especially it did in COVID. How did you innovate and how do you stay ahead of the space, especially with AI coming into your sphere?
So you know what, I mean, COVID gave me the opportunity to rethink everything that I'd done. So prior to COVID, we were on a high of note, but 90% of my clients at that time were hospitality. And that is what sort of was temporarily destroyed. It never stopped me. I went into a motion of sort of fighting for all of them, finding ways that we could sell stock, still promote them so that when we came out of COVID, they had a base to start from. It taught me a lot in terms of my own business, that not to be so focused necessarily on one industry. So while I might not understand engineering, I might not understand plumbing. I was married to a plumber for 18 years, so I do understand plumbing. But it took me into a space where if I could understand where the owner of the business was coming from and what they wanted to achieve, not just for themselves, but for those who were involved in their businesses, that we had to grow a community base. So everything I've ever done is based on a community. You can't expect people within your circle to support you if you don't support them. So that is what I do with every single client. I try and grain them in a community, because if you get that right, you've got growth everywhere, because people buy into people. And if they can see that you love your community and support your community, they're going to go on this journey with you, no matter where it is in the world. So yeah, I've learned lots of lessons. I think we all have through COVID. But yeah, you know what? I don't take no for an answer. I don't roll over easily. I will find a way. And I love a challenge.
I love that, Mandy. Thank you. It was, certainly I think everybody can resonate. If it wasn't for COVID, would we have met like this online tonight? It became way more acceptable to adjust, and we didn't really have a choice if we wanted to survive in our businesses in the way that we engage with one another. So it certainly gave us some pros and cons, but it's about looking at how did it serve us and how do we use it to springboard to the next level? How do you innovate your business and stay relevant? But it has been an absolute privilege and honor to share this evening with you ladies and getting to know you in this phenomenal platform of KZN Top Business Women. I will certainly see you again through this process, and we will celebrate in November at the grand event. So have a wonderful evening. We'll chat soon. Thank you to the audience who tuned in. Stay tuned. Next week, we have our second webinar. My name is Anneme from True Awakenings. I'm your facilitator, executive coach, and all-round passionate about human beings. So this is my playground. This is where I feel most comfortable. So thank you for sharing your evening with me, and I look forward to touching base with you ladies in the journey as we go forward.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.